What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Retro Matador live podcast, starring your host, Retro EJ, and myself, Matador Gabe. What's up, EJ?
What's up? What's up? We have an amazing show today. I feel like my camera's far. We have an amazing show today. We have some good movies. We have a review of a special movie near and dear to my heart. But let's get it going. I'm ready.
Are you ready? Are you ready? You ready for the Space Jam? Are you ready for Fear Street Part 3? Are you ready for this short film, Redness Relief?
Great movie. But let's get into it. Let's get it going, Matador. Which one do you want to get popping with first today? I know you want to save Fear Street for last. That's our most popping topic. It seems that people really enjoyed that topic from last week, so we're definitely going to save that for last.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. I'm excited to be back with everybody. We're trying to pump out this stuff each week in a way that is entertaining for everyone. I think let's start off with the short film. Tell me about this film, sir.
Um, this is awesome. I would like to say Redness Relief, directed by Jamaal Williams himself, the man, the myth, the legend himself. That is a near and dear friend of mine. He directed his first short film, Redness Relief. If you haven't seen it, you must go see it on the SGA network. Matador has a link down below where you can definitely go find where to check it out on Apple TV, Roku TV, also Fire Stick. Make sure to download the SGA network app to go tune in to Redness Relief. It was amazing. That's all I have to say automatically off the muscle. There's so many things I can say, and not just because he's a friend, but I mean, the cinematography was beautiful. The drone shots, everything was perfect to the music. The music drove the movie for me in different ways because, especially again, I don't want to spoil it, but the way that last song comes in with the beat and the boom, you can feel the intensity of that scene and that moment. It is interesting. It is very interesting to say. Also, like I said, the set designs, the costumes. Again, this is a local artist, and I really love to see local artists do what they do best because they worked with their environment and what they had to make a beautiful piece of art. And that's what all local artists should do. We have a lot of friends that are artists themselves within the industry of doing stuff like this. So it's just awesome to see them take big steps and leaps and bounds like this. And like I said, it's there. Definitely go check it out on the SGA network because it's 15 minutes and it's worth every minute. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a wonderful job by Jamal Six. He really captures the feel of this person and what they're going through, and this couple of what they're going through. I think that it felt authentic. It felt like I'm really following somebody's personal relationship in real time. I like the way that they really put it together. The different scenes that he chose were well thought out, and compliments to the actors. I don't know how many acting gigs they've had, but they definitely did a great job in the film too. Yeah, like you said, I'm super excited about stuff like this because you get an opportunity to have somebody create content and elevate it to a place where they have turned their vision into art, like you said. And I think that in its own is always a great thing. We're movie buffs, not just because we like to watch movies, but we like all the different things that are involved in movies, and we know we've tried to create content ourselves and know what that entails. Um, and it's really hard, and a lot goes into it. So when you're able to put something together like this and do it so well, I think it speaks volumes to the work ethic and it also just shows that you can do anything you set your mind to.
Exactly. And like you said, it's people always like judge and criticize movies. I mean, that's what we're not really movie reviewers. You know, we do our commentary on our movies, but at the end of the day, when it comes to a movie, it is hard to make a movie at the end of the day, good or bad. But it's hard to make a great movie at the end of the day. You have to put a lot of the time and man work in to do that, and to see, you know, someone go out and really strive to do that. Like you said, you can do anything. And like Matador said, we're movie buffs, and not just to watch movies. We understand the language of film. We understand what a certain angle or a certain song means to a moment. And again, just to see someone, he had something to say. Jamaal had something to say within that short, and we understood it. Like, he speaks the language of film, and we walk with that here at the Retro Matador. So I loved it, man.
Yeah,
He
I
said
agree.
he said it's the tip of the iceberg on his Instagram. So it's out there to the world. He got some more to give us. That's all I got to say.
Well, we definitely want to see more from him. I think just keep me in the loop. That's what I'll say. But yeah, if anybody's interested in getting his takes and understanding his process and just getting to know him, he's going to be on our buddies podcast, the Nikolai Capone podcast with you, Elijah, this Friday. So if y'all are trying to take that journey, please do that. Go over there, get on the comments, ask questions. Check out this movie. Like he said, it's only 15 minutes, so that's all you need. And the link is there below. Just go watch it. Yeah, just check it out, and yeah, let us know what you thought of it, and definitely let them know on Friday as well.
Yeah, man. Again, 15 minutes. I was at the edge of my seat, and like, if you can get me at the edge of my seat in 15 minutes, that's intense. That's the roller coaster effect that Matador always speaks about on this show. That just goes to show you how good that this movie is. So, yeah, seriously, if you want, come check it out over at the Nikolai Capone podcast on Friday, live at 7, only on twitch.tv/Nikolai Capone. Now, Matador, it's going to be awesome. I know you'll be there. Y'all should join Matador in the comments. Ask some questions, because Jamaal Six Williams will be in the building over there answering questions.
Awesome. I look forward to it. I'm gonna invade.
I'm going to invade the questions I have. No, but definitely, definitely, we have another movie today on the Mega Movie Review, and we're gonna start with the next one is Space Jam, starring LeBron James himself, Don Cheadle, and the Looney Tunes.
The Looney Tunes, and don't forget Lola Bunny, voiced by Zendaya. Yeah.
Oh, she's
Yeah.
separate
So
now. She's separate from the Looney
she
Tunes.
she gets her own casting call because she's the standout. Anyway, let's dive into it, or let's let's get into the Space Jam. All right. So first off, I've been waiting for this one. I've been waiting for this one. I've been waiting for a sequel to Space Jam 1. They've been talking about this movie for many, many years, and it came about because of the successes of LeBron James, the player, comparisons to Michael Jordan. So they already basically were like, there's going to be a Space Jam movie, and it's going to be LeBron. We didn't know for sure, but we knew it was going to be him. A lot of people don't like that because a lot of people hate LeBron.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's fine. You can be of that basketball opinion. Is he as good as advertised? Yes, he is. Is he one of the best players of all time? Sure. Is he better than Michael Jordan? It's your debate versus somebody else's debate. I personally don't see that, but Doesn't mean he's not probably the best player of our generation. And you can compare him to Kobe. You can compare him to, you know, different players that are your favorite. My favorite player of my generation is Dirk Nowitzki. It's always going to be him. And Dirk beat LeBron, so I'm always going to be happy.
Exactly. 2012, baby. Let's go.
So
They even mentioned it in Space Jam. They mentioned the 2012 year. Let's get it right.
yeah, 2012. They had to make sure that they said his first championship came 2012 after the Mavs beat them first. But anyway, so my whole point of saying all that is that you shouldn't go into this movie upset because it's LeBron James and not Michael Jordan. Like that's not fair to the movie. First off, second, I think that you're watching a movie about him, so they're gonna make him better than what he is if you think he's not good, and if you like him, then they're gonna play that up. So I mean, you're gonna get the best version of LeBron James as far as basketball wise in the movie, for what it's worth for the basketball that they play. But yeah, I just wanted to say that before we got into it real deep. So go ahead. What did you think of this movie?
I actually agree with you about everything that you just said. Like, if you just go into it with not thinking about if you hate or like LeBron, not going into it trying to compare it to our Space Jam that came out 25 years ago, it's an enjoyable, decent film. It's not the world's greatest film, neither is the original Space Jam. And I've been saying this all week. Any Looney Tunes movie that comes out is critically panned all the time. Any Looney Tune movie that comes out. Everybody has these high expectations for Looney Tunes when they come out, and everyone says, well, it doesn't have a plot. The Looney Tunes themselves don't have a plot. Give me one plot of one episode of the Looney Tunes. There is none. It's loony. You don't know how it's gonna end.
Right.
So I don't understand what people are expecting going into a Looney Tunes movie, because then later on they're like, oh, I liked it. It's funny. I get those jokes now, 10 years later. That's why Space Jam's a cult classic now. Like, I liked it as a kid, but not a lot of people liked it until later.
The biggest thing that I have a problem with all the people painting this movie, talking trash about it, is that who is the movie made for?
Kids.
Who's it made for? Yes, kids, little kids. Don't ask yourself what you thought of the movie, because it wasn't made for you. It wasn't made with you in mind. Yeah, sure, there's some nostalgia for us adults who watched the first one. But the first one wasn't made for us now. It was made for us when we were kids. And this one is made for kids. I sat and watched it with my daughter, and I mean, she loved it. She loved it. Why? Because Bugs Bunny, Lola Bunny, Daffy Duck, the Looney Tunes,
Batman,
that's awesome.
Superman, King Kong, Iron Giant.
Yeah, she flipped out when she saw the Iron Giant. I know him. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many characters. And she's like, oh, she even knew Pennywise. She was like, that's the scary clown. Exactly. And, you know, the whole point is it was made for her to enjoy it. And I could tell you this now. She still don't know LeBron James' name. He's just that guy that plays basketball in her brain. So if that's what we're gauging it on, a 4-year-old loving it, then I think that's what it's supposed to be. That's who gets the Happy Meals with those toys in it. That's who this movie's for. That's what the Looney Tunes cartoons are for. Kids, right? That ultimately, we shouldn't judge it beyond that. It's a PG movie. It has a very, like you said, it's not a plot, but it is a plot. It's just a very simple, kid-oriented movie. Watch any of those movies, Shark Girl and Lava Boy or whatever.
They're trash, but guess what?
Shark Boy and Lava
Kids
Girl.
love it.
Yeah, like the all the stupid little kid movies that we found were really great. Go back and watch them. The Big Green, The Mighty Ducks. All those movies are trash. When you really watch them, like if I was to critique it as a movie, like comparing it to like real cinema, yes, but they're fun. They're funny. They have stuff that makes you laugh. Like that's the point. I think Space Jam, the New Legacy, did that for me. I laughed a whole bunch. Like in the whole movie, there was like a bunch of jokes that were just like hitting, and then I mean they got me to go like whoa awesome when you talked about Batman, Superman, when it was the Justice League, but it wasn't just the Justice League, it was the
animated
yes,
Justice League.
like that
Bro,
that
I freaked out.
that made me feel good, right? Like that's what we were supposed to get out of this movie. You had Matrix reference, you had all kinds of stuff. I mean, they were talking about how it's go ahead.
Well, I was saying because they had all that, I hear how some people are like, well, that's why it was aimed towards us. They had all these references of rated R movies that kids wouldn't know The Matrix or wouldn't know Mad Max. And here's the thing. I understand that. I understand it, but hear me out. Hear me out. Again, even though we understand as adults those references, the movie's still not for us. That movie is for when our kids get older, just like every movie we have for us that we saw as children. When our kids get older, they're going to go back and rewatch Space Jam with their kids, that Space Jam with LeBron, and be like, oh, man, now I get that reference. My dad showed me this when I was a kid. Now, it's those moments. Those moments aren't meant for us now. That's meant for kids later. Those Easter eggs are meant for kids later on down the line.
Right.
Like,
right. And
pull your thumb out your butt and enjoy the movie with your kid.
Yeah, it's not a new concept, everybody. It's not. You know what I'm saying? Go look at like Tiny Toons. Look at Animaniacs. How many references to Star Trek, the original series, is there stuff? Like that's the 60s. That's kids in the 90s are supposed to have known those movies when they're little watching those shows. Not really, but if I'm an adult who's seen that and I'm watching with my kid, I can laugh. They're always going to put stuff in there so that we can have some sort of enjoyment from it, but it's still not geared towards us. The whole movie's premise is, I mean, it is what it is. But let's shift gears. Let's shift gears. Let's touch on another thing. Let's talk about LeBron James in this movie. So, one of the big deals, everybody wants to compare LeBron's performance to Michael Jordan's performance. Let's be 100% clear from the jump. LeBron James is not an actor. He's not an actor, and Michael Jordan wasn't an actor. They're given what they're given in these movies. If you felt like Michael Jordan seemed more authentic, that's because they put him in elements, to me, where it seemed like we're just following Michael Jordan. Like while he's doing his basketball interview at the beginning of the movie where he's retiring. It wasn't even a real thing, but like it made sense that he's doing that because he did that in real life. And then you're following like the basketball stars, like they're talking to them like as if they're getting interviewed after the game, like locker room situations, stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's set up. Yeah, the original, like you're right. The original Space Jam is definitely set up to where it's just interviews. And even when Michael is, and I love the original Space Jam, I'm not trying to talk shit about it, but if you go back and watch it, when he's with the Looney Tunes, they cut the scenes a certain way because he really doesn't have that many lines when he's in Toonland. Like, he really doesn't. They cut him a certain way with them, and Bugs and the Looney Tunes really handle the movie. He's just there. Like, he does basketball. He says, let's play some basketball, and there's not really much else. Like,
yeah, and let's talk about that too. Like, think about Michael Jordan in like an old McDonald's commercial. Like that's exactly how he acted in the movie Space Jam to me. Like it's the same thing. Well, okay, in Space Jam New Legacy, they have LeBron James not only have time with the tunes, but he actually has to try to act with his family like in a way that's like you're really asking a lot of him So I'll tell you, in my opinion, it was real cringy the first 10 minutes of the movie where it's like him and his son and him and his wife like talking to each other. It's like LeBron just can't act. So it doesn't feel like LeBron James is actually in that and we're following him talking. He's like acting as the parent. And it's very weird and cringy, but you know what? Didn't take away from the overall movie to me because I didn't take that into consideration. I didn't say I came here to see if this dude LeBron can be like Johnny Depp. Like it's not it is not what we're comparing here. Like we're comparing him like did he just make the movie fun, right? And he did all his stuff. He interacted with the Looney Tunes in all the different ways just like Michael Jordan. It is what it is. I think it was fine, but people are gonna shit on him because he couldn't act, and I mean that's fair. He's not an actor.
But let's talk about the flaws. There are flaws for sure in this movie. Um, I love Don Cheadle, but there were definite parts that Algae Rhythm, the villain of the movie, didn't really. It didn't feel genuine or there. Why? What was he really after? Like he just wanted to be known. There was no. There is a plot, but his plan was very bland. And I love Don Cheadle. He had a lot of good jokes, but it felt very ingenuine as a villain overall.
Yeah, I didn't really care for the villain either. It's not a slight at him, but you're gonna compare him to Danny DeVito villain, right? Like that.
Warshank was his name or something like that.
Yeah, and it's like, well, he's got like so much character to him, right? He's Danny DeVito as a cartoon. Like, it feels right. Like he's a bad guy, and you want this to happen, and then like Don Cheadle's supposed to be this AI, but like it doesn't really do it
That
for me
wants
either.
recognition.
Yeah, it doesn't really do it for me. Why do you want recognition? You're a computer. You should be like Skynet, just trying to take over the world or something. Like,
Like, yeah, it was
uh,
weird. It was real weird. Will, but I'm gonna tell you the most villainous thing Don Cheadle did in that movie, real quick. All right, when he showed up, Bugs Bunny was like, "Ow, G showed up and told all the tunes that they can go to other places." Don Cheadle was in a purple, sparkly pimp suit with a purple fedora on. I said, he's a villain. He is a villain. He talked the Looney Tunes out of Toonland in a pimp suit and a purple fedora. What is going on?
oh my gosh. I mean, I think that part sucked. I mean, look at the other team. They were very like
Goon Squad.
they were lame compared to the Monstars to me, just because you really get a sense of the basketball players. I felt as Monstars, like you're getting like they're a cartoonized version of that. On this,
Mm.
like what they chose to do, like Clay Thompson was like some water fire
Wet
person,
fire. Wet
and
fire.
I mean, it didn't feel like Clay Thompson to me. Like I didn't understand that was him really. And then they just talked about Anthony Davis unibrow the whole time. Like okay, that's fine, but the characters themselves, like I don't see how they were menacing compared to like the Monstars. Like the Toons were afraid of them. The Toons were more afraid of getting erased rather than like I'm afraid to play them. Like and that's what it felt like in the
Yeah.
first thing. But
That's a good point, actually, Matador.
I I liked some of the stuff they did, like the Damian Lillard character, where he's able to freeze time. They used his power and made some good jokes out of it, like the Wile E. Coyote slow motion, where he's about to start eating Roadrunner. He's like, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. Like use their powers for Looney Tunes type moments, and it delivers. But overall, I mean, I didn't really care for them that way. But they serve their purpose,
Well,
right? I think.
well, we have to be fair. Their powers come from pretty much their nicknames and what they do on the court. So that's and I that makes sense. But like you said, the Monstars, they beat the Looney Tunes up in that game to where the Looney Tunes were on incubators and wrapped up. Like they didn't want to go out and play no more. like,
Yeah.
like they didn't do that in this. They just kind of beat their confidence more than beat them in a sense.
Right. And I think, they did a lot of good things with the Looney Tunes, though. As you get through it, they figure out what they need to do to win and break the game. We don't even talk about the Sun. The Sun come up with this whole elaborate plan to make a game, and LeBron's like, you can't play games no more because you need to think about basketball. It's more important. Like, that was... Come on. Like, that's how he really is.
Well, I understand that in a sense, because we're dads, and we're fun, but sometimes I understand I can be a little strict. And looking at that movie, it's just saying, learn to be loony because you don't have a lot of time. And like LeBron being, King James, and he, you gotta learn to let loose and have some fun. And that's what I liked is, some point in the game he looked at his son, gave him a pat and was like, "You having fun yet?" And that's all his son really wanted. You know what I mean? Was to be able to have fun and do what he wanted. And they, I get it, but the game was weird. The basketball game was a little weird.
Come on, you talk about like the problems with Space Jam 1's scoring, where like they needed like 5 or 6 points at the end of the game, and then they were like, all right, it's the last play and we're on defense, and somehow he dunks it and wins. I don't understand the scoring situation there, but the scoring on this game was really ridiculous. I mean, there's like no rhyme or reason to anything they did. It was just like, whatever we say, you get this many points. So, I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. It wasn't a real basketball game. It was fun. They had their moment, right? With Bugs Bunny, he hit that self-sacrifice, and I think that was real touching. Lola was real upset when that happened, so it delivered the feelings that it needed to deliver, and then she was happy when she saw him again. So overall, I think the movie was fun. It's not a great thing, but neither was Space Jam 1. Like it just... Will I watch it again? Not really, but Lola will watch it. She's already watched it like 4 or 5 times. And she watches that one and watches the first one at the same time. Like, she'll watch that.
Yeah, my kids have done the same thing. Like, it's done its purpose. Our kids have watched it 4 or 5 times. They've made their money. Bugs is laughing his way to the bank, counting right now. Think of that Bugs Bunny meme of him counting money. Bugs and the Looney Tunes will always make money no matter what you say. People complain about this being a Warner Brothers, pat on the back. But hey, you know what? So was the first Space Jam. It was a commercial, giant hour-and-a-half commercial. So
yeah,
just as this one.
And you know what? Sometimes you gotta pat yourself on the back because you have a bunch of great characters and content. So what are we mad about? Really? You're mad because they have all those great characters and content? I mean, is what it is.
Everybody else has done it. Ready Player One has done it. Disney's done it with Wreck-It Ralph. Why can't Warner Brothers do it?
Yeah, it's no different than that.
Everyone's done it.
Yeah. So I mean, again, I don't think Space Jam is gonna win any awards. In my opinion, if they do, it'll be a ESPY just because people want to try to salute that because LeBron James is in it. But I mean, outside of that, I mean, it was just fun, right? Fun for the kids. That's what it's for. I ain't tripping. The people need to stop tripping. If you ain't watched it, then just watch it with your kids. If you ain't got kids, don't watch it. I don't care.
Exactly. At the end of the day, we don't care.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Retro Matador podcast. To support our channel, please like and subscribe to all of our video content. or you can just lose and get nothing. Thank you for watching.